Marketing Interactive Design Conference that is going to be taking place on August 4th, 2016. We are just about 2 weeks away from this event, so we've got a really exciting session planned for you today. And since everybody can see my screen, which is really cool, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump into today's agenda. So the agenda for today on our webinar, the goal really is to give you some background into what's going to go on at DOYO Live. Not only that, there's a handful of people that are on the call today that are still trying to decide whether or not they want to attend, and we can completely understand that. We're really hoping that that you want to sign up, you want to come to the event. It's going to be very exciting, and we're going to give you some good reasons why. I'm going to share with you the DOYO Live mission, what we're all about, not just at our event, but 365 days a year. Then we will also get into our schedule, our sponsors, talk to you about our workshop, and then logistics for the event. First and foremost, I'd like to, again, thank you for attending. My name is Dennis Schiraldi. I am actually the founder of DOYO Live. That all started about 2.5 years ago when I was attending other conferences around the country and thought it would be a really good idea to try and pull off a marketing conference in Youngstown, Ohio. I started to validate and vet the opportunity to do that with a number of people in the community, and the feedback was always pretty tremendous, and that led me down the path that we are today. So for the past 6 months, since January, really I've been working 15 hours a day, day and night to pull this off, and it's been very rewarding, and I'm hoping to deliver what I think is going to be a very strong lineup for an event. You can follow me on Snapchat at Dennis Schiraldi. I'm really digging the fact that Snapchat is having a moment. I'm loving everything about it. I am on Twitter at dschiraldi, and then Instagram as well. Our mission for DOYO Live is actually pretty simple. We want to be an educational resource 365 days a year for marketing, business, sales, design professionals. And what we mean by that is that we want to continue to churn out really great blog content, which we've been doing 3 days a week for about the past 6 months. That's how we've been able to gain a big following. Continue on with expanding our email, what I'm liking to call the DOYO Digest. We're looking at publishing a quarterly print publication, ongoing podcast that will launch after the conference, and then also continue with this being the first webinar, but with ongoing educational webinars wrapped around marketing. And then, and if that's not enough, get out into the community and provide mini workshops on a regular basis. Another mission that we have is to help stimulate the economy in Youngstown, Ohio. That's a pretty lofty goal, but in year one, we've been able to create a couple part-time jobs. Not only have we been able to create a couple part-time jobs, but we've engaged services of a sign person. We'll be providing, obviously, restaurants with lunch, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the webinar. And we like to be purpose-driven as well. So we've got a handful of charitable organizations that we're going to donate money back into the community. This year, the Rich Center for Autism is one of those benefactors. They're a center for excellence at Youngstown State University, and we're going to take some time to give some money back to them as a result of the work that we're doing here. So the first thing that I'd like to start with is trying to provide you a little bit of value before I just tell you about the conference. And if anybody knows anything about Simon Sinek, I'm a big fan of a number of thought leaders that are out there: Seth Godin, Gary Vaynerchuk, Joe Pulizzi, obviously speaking at DOYO Live, and really I'm a rabid consumer of this information. And Simon Sinek says, start with the why, and really what that means is, why is DOYO Live a good idea? And I talk to a number of people on a regular basis, and they kind of want to go back to the way that things were when, we were social beings and we were always obviously communicating with the person that's next to us. And I hope that's not lost on you because, we as much as public we are and people will get accused of maybe staring into their smart devices, the fact of the matter remains that, the black and white days are not coming back anytime soon, and it's no longer a nice to have, it's a need to have. Have a strategy in place to be able to engage and communicate with people that are out there in the marketplace. So the reason why it makes sense is that 90% of all buying decisions start with online search. You can go to any of your friends, counterparts, colleagues, and generally they will tell you that they were looking at something on Google last night. And whether you're in a B2B or B2C environment, that's going to hold true. The same thing with the fact that 70% of all people have already vetted both the solution to the problem and looked at your company pretty much online before they even ever pick up the phone and talk to a salesperson. So if you're not getting found in search, it's a very difficult thing, a challenging thing, a challenging proposition for your business to be able to gain traction outside of the fact that your sales organization is picking up the phone and dialing for dollars. The other thing that we come to the conclusion, and why we want to be an educational resource, is that marketing people are no longer just living in a vacuum. This is the marketing technology landscape, and if you look across advertising, promotion, to content management systems, to social relationships, marketing automation software, this is a $1 billion industry with about 5% of the market share at this point accounted for. MarTech is going to continue to get bigger and bigger. The tech companies are going to continue to propel this as web, as great as it is today, continues to evolve with a velocity that is basically going to continue on a consistent basis. And from a marketing professional perspective, it's no longer just putting together some sort of print promotional item and trying to figure out a way within your marketing budget to be able to exacerbate that cause out in the marketplace. So the reason why we wanted to put DOYO Live together is to be an educational resource to bring you up to speed as much as we possibly can in a sharing environment on the marketing technology landscape and the tactical things that are out there as well, which is where we get to content marketing. And if you don't know what content marketing is at this point, it's a way to establish thought leadership, churning out interesting, compelling content. And when people think of disruption, they think of things that are kind of the very liberal side of marketing of the kind of in your face. But really anything that I look at it from a disruption perspective is anything that's a really compelling, elegant design, informational, thought leadership pieces that make you want to ingest and make your brand very popular, and building critical mass through that thought leadership and then converting those opportunities into monetization. And that's really what the content marketing approach is. It's not just basically an online opportunity as well, although that's where the bulk of the business starts. It's just churning out great content. The reason why this is also very important is because the landscape has changed so significantly, especially from an online perspective, is that now it used to be newspaper, radio, and TV is where we got our information. And now brands want to connect with you on their terms people, consumers, whether B2B or B2C, want to connect with you on their terms in their space. And they have this expectation, what we've now defined as the omni-channel, of that's how they're going to communicate with you. So not only does your content need to be on par, also your ability to be able to communicate with these people. So there's a new standard in the communication channels. And the communication channels, again, the broadcasting network used to be CBS, ABC, Fox, and now people are completely digesting their information through these social media mechanisms, which is just one very big arm of the digital marketing landscape. And what makes this all different is that there's the outbound approach, which is the old school way of cold calling, emails, interruptive ads, that sort of thing that made marketing, I guess maybe gave marketing a bad name. And then the new school tactical items are inbound marketing, making sure that you have a strong search engine optimization plan, a blogging strategy. We know that companies that blog, according to HubSpot, generate 65% more leads than companies that do not, because they drive people to their website. It helps to impact search. It attracts customers and it positions you as a thought leader. So that's philosophically where DOYO is going to help to provide be an educational resource on content inbound marketing cover topics on social media, on digital marketing, on best practices on web, and those sorts of things to really help to marketing professionals and sales professionals in order give them an opportunity to be able to grow. So what we want to do now is I want to transition from talking to you about the why into taking a closer look at DOYO Live. So first and foremost, for DOYO Live, being that it is a digital marketing conference and we currently push out a considerable amount of our messages through our social media mechanisms, we've delivered 800,000 impressions online, excluding any sort of our PR efforts since we launched our website back in January. Our official hashtag for the conference is hashtag DOYO Live. I'm anticipating that there will be probably a few rogue hashtags that pop up, which is pretty cool. We're hoping that we're obviously engaging an audience that has embraced social media or is yet to do so, and come up with your own as well. We have a significant presence on social media across Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Pretty much all of those are branded as DOYO Live. The day of the event, we will be very heavy on telling our Snapchat stories with the geo filter as well. Twitter and Instagram, we will likely have some Facebook streaming applications live going on that day, and just give you an opportunity to be able to participate in a handful of conferences as well. So social media policy, I don't know if I've ever really attended a conference that has a social media policy, and for DOYO Live, we don't know what we don't know in year one. Probably more so than anything, the reason why I put the question mark up there is because now we've got a number of streaming applications between Facebook and Periscope, and really everything's in play. So there's really no social media policy. Next up are keynote speakers. Let me just take a minute here. It is beyond my wildest imagination that in year one that we've been able to pull in the amount of talent that we have. The guy on the right, I'll start with Mr. Nate Riggs from the CEO of NR Media Group, will be presenting in our afternoon keynote session. I had a prior encounter with Nate from a prior customer that I was working with and thought very highly of his work. He's established a HubSpot certification program at Ohio University. He runs a very successful marketing media agency in the HubSpot philosophy. And we'll talk a little bit about HubSpot a little bit later in this webinar. Nate and I had a conversation when I launched DOYO Live, and I had asked him if he would be interested in being the keynote speaker, and he obliged. And we had kind of this joking around conversation about the fact that that he knew Joe Pulizzi, and although Joe Pulizzi has a huge marketing conference in Cleveland in September, that he could potentially help me out with an introduction. And he did. And so not only did we get Nate Riggs, who has a really big following in social media, speaks all over the country at a number of the major marketing conferences, he introduced me to Joe Pulizzi. And because of the fact that we had a content marketing strategy in place, and we were living and breathing that about 6 weeks in, my conversation that was brokered by Nate Riggs to Joe Pulizzi engaged one of the top people in the entire world in in content marketing. Joe founded the Content Marketing Institute back in over 10 years ago. He has grown that business to where it was just acquired by a company called UBM for $19 million. And he will continue on his media company with CMI. And he also has his conference, Content Marketing World. Joe's published a number of books, one of which you will receive Content Inc. as a result of participating and attending the conference. His talk is being sponsored by the Mahoney County Career and Technical Center. Joe Pulizzi speaks at South by Southwest, all the major conferences in the world. Entrepreneur Magazine just ranked him 13th most influential marketing people in the entire world. And he's agreed to come to Youngstown, Ohio to give a keynote address on content marketing. We are very fortunate to have a person of Joe's caliber coming to town to speak. I can't tell you how excited I am, humbled and honored all at the same time to have Joe at our event. And I think that you're going to find him to be a tremendous resource for yourself as you come or consider coming to DOYO Live. So what I want to do now is I want to take a moment, talk to you about the schedule. So it's a pretty aggressive schedule for the day because we're packing a ton of information into a very short amount of time. I know an 8-hour day seems like it could go on forever, but really at the end of the day, we have a lot of content, 15 total breakout sessions, workshops, 2 keynote speakers, and a thought leadership panel. So we're going to get you in at 8 to 8:30 is going to be registration and check-in. Our event is being held at the Youngstown State Williamson College of Business. Again, I'll provide you some instructions a little bit later in the webinar there. At 8:30, we're going to move you into the main conference room. I'm going to be handling opening remarks, and then we're going to turn things over at 9:15 to Joe Polizzi. We'll take a quick networking break, and then we're going to jump right into our first breakout sessions. And we're going to have 5 tracks running at the same time. You're going to have an opportunity to pick one of those 5 tracks to sit in. Those sessions are going to run 45 minutes with presentation and Q&A. Each of those sessions are being run by breakout session leaders. In the first session, we've got some great B2B and B2C options, various levels from kind of entry-level business. Let's get an understanding of what some of this stuff means, whether it's the planning session with Eugene Bonanno. That is in the HubSpot track. I've mentioned that a few times, and I do have to tell you a little bit more about HubSpot. Where do you get started with an online marketing strategy? Socialized Media Group does a great job in Facebook marketing. They're going to talk to you about a strategy. They're going to talk to you about some of the technology that supports that and some of the customer service. Jeff Herman, we're really lucky to have him. He's a local guy that moved back to the area. He's a marketing executive with Fathom Online Marketing, and he has spoken and presented at LinkedIn's National Sales and Marketing Conference. He will be speaking at Content Marketing World. And whether you're in sales or marketing, it's a great opportunity to sit in his session to learn about social selling components. Giuseppe Ghetto is coming in from North Carolina, so some out-of-state contingency representing the event. And he's going to talk to you about branding and design and elegant design and why it's so important to engaging your constituents. And then Ross Morone is the Director of Marketing at Youngstown State University. He's accustomed to utilizing a lot of analytics and big data to make digital marketing decisions, and that's going to help you make yours as well. At that point, after that breakout session, we're going to go back into the main area, and we will get into the thought leadership panel discussion. We've got a great lineup of people. I'm not going to spoil it right now because I have another slide that is prepared to show you that. And then at noon, we're actually going to go to a networking lunch. That lunch is being provided by Palo Creative, our title agency sponsor, and a little bit more on that in this webinar as well. If you would like to, by the way, any questions that you have for our thought leadership panel, you can register them in our Q&A today. We will capture all of those questions and make sure that we provide you with some feedback on those. Session number 2 is going to start immediately following lunch. It's going to, again, be a 45-minute session. This session actually has 6 breakout sessions. Jeff Herman's going to continue on with part 2 of his social selling. And then we have Sassy Girl Media, Deanna Facillo is going to talk to you about how do you stand out in a very noisy crowd with online marketing practices. Tony DeSantis is going to run another HubSpot track. He has a company in the YBI, Youngstown Business Incubator. He's a portfolio company, also a sponsor of our event, and he's going to talk to you about how do you increase your marketing sales effectiveness through strategy and through technology. RJ Thompson will be talking to you about the City of You, which is a branding, more of a branding type of conversation. And then we have a healthcare track. Amanda Changuris is a marketing executive with Highmark Health, but she is also going to be talking about utilizing social media for customer complaints. Being the conservative nature of healthcare, I think that this is an awesome opportunity for anybody that's dealing with trying to figure out how do you handle complaints over social media. So it's not just healthcare related. I think you'll find multiple use applications. And then Mark Dinowitz. Mark is the VP of Sales at WKBN's digital division, and he'll be presenting on what digital options are right for your business. Mark's been around since the early days of SEO and online marketing, and it's going to be a great session. He has a great historical lens on that. After that, we go on a short break, and then as you're tallying off from a couple great events or great breakout sessions, we go into breakout session number 3. Very happy that we've got Danny Catullo from Catullo Prime Meats. He's going to talk about how he's used digital strategies to grow his brand and gain not just local popularity, but popularity across the entire country. Alex Foley is with NR Media Group, and he's going to talk to you about A/B testing of your email marketing campaign. So a little bit more of a sophisticated conversation there for somebody that's probably been in digital marketing for a while. And then, interesting, right? Mike Ponticus runs a marketing agency, is a Youngstown State professor. Huge ton of respect for Mike. He's actually put together our DOYO Live magazine that we're anticipating that we'll have available to you at the conference. Being disruptive in a digital world, and is print still a viable option? So kind of a twist on talking about really integrating your marketing strategy between digital and print. Mike Sevilla is a local physician. He speaks at national conferences on a consistent basis because of the brand that he's been able to develop. That is analogous to anybody that's out there that's trying to expand their own personal brand. And then in doing so, he's built his local business as a physician. So again, if you're in healthcare, great track for you. If you're not and you're looking to try and figure out, how do I establish myself to get out there and speak on the national level, Mike's a great guy for you to talk with. And then really excited about Jim Kamara's session. Jim is the digital director at Palo Creative, again, our title agency sponsor. He's going to break down in a very understandable, digestible way what search engine optimization is and how you exploit local search in order to be able to get found. Extremely important. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. It could be very technical, but knowing Jim, it'll be a very understandable thing for you, and I'm very glad to have Palo involved in this event. We'll go to the networking break, and then we'll get into our afternoon keynote, which is with Nate Riggs. Again, the HubSpot methodology is going to be on full display here. That is our third session that's dedicated to that, and then closing remarks will be made by me. And then everybody's favorite part, the after party at the Erie Terminal building, which is being sponsored by NYO Property Group. It's in their building. So each breakout session will feature 5 breakouts. One will have 6, and it becomes your difficult decision as to which ones that you decide to attend. So what I would like to do now, and I have to set kind of a reminder to make sure I talk to you a little bit about HubSpot, is talk to you a little bit about the Thought Leadership Panel. So the Thought Leadership Panel is made up of some really, some just very insightful individuals that have a lot of experience in the space. First and foremost, Rob Palowitz, again from Palo Creative, title agency sponsor. I make no bones about it. I've known Rob for a very long time. I have a ton of respect for what he does and his agency does. They're one of the top, not just top agencies in the Youngstown, Ohio area, but in anywhere. They recently launched the Youngstown Airport's marketing campaign for the flights going back and forth to Chicago. I'm sure that you've seen a lot of the buzz around that. He handles a lot of major players. And although he always has returned my phone calls and emails, I ran into him in a parking lot, retail parking lot back in, I think it was like February or early March, and I practically threw myself in front of his car. I said, "You're the godfather of marketing in the Youngstown, Ohio area, and I really need to have you at DOYO Live." And I'm so excited the fact that he's embraced the conference and the agency's embraced the conference, and he's going to be there. Jeff Risner from 898 Marketing, and I have a an interesting twist on our backgrounds. He and I have a personal connection from a group that he's worked with in technology in Silicon Valley. He was formerly the vice president of marketing and sales for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So he has the tech background. He has professional sports background, and he also runs a marketing agency local called 898 Marketing. So very excited to have Jeff on board. Extremely insightful individual when it comes to marketing of all tactics and strategies. Jim Yang probably wins the long distance award. Jim's coming in from California. He's from Illuminate Education and is director of lead demand generation and has this huge working background on marketing automation technology and implementation. So he's going to be a great resource. Steve Condre is a guy that I've known, excuse me, for a few years now. McConnell Marketing has a number of national accounts in the hospitality industry. They do a great job. You'll be surprised when you, not surprised by their work, but surprised to hear the clients that they're working with are some of the most popular hotels in the country. And we're lucky to have them on board. And then Lisa Kleinhandler is also with a Youngstown business incubator portfolio company called Hudson Fasteners. What's interesting about Hudson Fasteners is the fact that they are in a very traditional, literally in a nuts and bolts industry, and they've taken the content marketing approach to really establish not just their brand and sell more nuts and bolts, but then also they've been able to establish themselves as the thought leaders and expertise in the space where now people come to them and talk to them about how do we leverage content marketing in order to be able to grow our business. So a very interesting group of panel discussion. That's going to be about a 45-minute talk. Again, if you've got any questions that you want to register with a thought leadership panel, register them in the Q&A today, and we'll be taking those questions at the event as well. So these types of events don't happen without sponsors and committees. That's basically the bottom line. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the sponsors that we have this year. Very civic-minded sponsors, and as we look to grow this event from year 1 to year 3 to year 5, from 200 to 500 to 1,000 people, and make it a multi-day event, we will start to attract the eyeballs of those marketing technology companies that you saw on the third or fourth slide. But in the meanwhile, our sponsorship is truly amazing. The Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber has been absolutely phenomenal since day one. Tom Humphreys sat and listened to me talk for about an hour about the vision, the goals behind DOYO Live, how it can help his constituents, and bought in, and I can't thank him enough. And then he introduced me to Kim Calvert. Kim Calvert joined our committee, and they're really wrapped up this week with the Republican National Convention in Cleveland, doing a phenomenal job of recruiting businesses and propelling and helping to promote businesses in the area. And she's been a tremendous asset to not only the committee, but again, as a regional chamber and partnering with us, just an extraordinary amount of gratitude. The Mahoning County Career and Technical Center is a tremendous resource as well in Mahoning County. They are not only just preparing people to come out of high school ready-made for the job market today. There's also kids that are coming out of there that are college ready as well, with college credits in high school, which is tremendously important in this day and age. They are sponsoring Joe Pulizzi's talk, and all of you, again, will receive a copy of Joe's book, Content Inc., as a result of participating in DOYO Live that's being sponsored by MCCTC. Friends Specialty Coffee, love them, love Mitch, love Patricia. They are doing phenomenal work in downtown Youngstown. You can purchase their coffee online. They will be at the conference. They're going to be contributing to our swag bag. They'll be catering our after hours event. They catered a networking event that we had about a month ago. We hold meetings there, and we just have this really bi-directional, great relationship with Friends Specialty. NYO Property Group, they are heavily involved in our events. We are hosting our after party at the M Gallery And not only are we hosting at the M Gallery, but we also have a surface lot available by NYO Property Group for parking. And then Youngstown State University has a world-class facility in the Williamson College of Business. I can't thank Betty Jo Licata enough, and Chris Shelton. Betty Jo Licata is the Dean of the School of Business, has opened her arms, opened her doors to us, and thankful for that. And then Palo Creative, again, if I wasn't gushing enough over Rob and Palo Creative earlier, I'll continue to do so. Again, I have a tremendous amount of respect for what they do. They are the title agency sponsor. They will be providing lunch and their entire crew will be on staff at the event to help you through your digital marketing, advertising, branding conversations. The City of Youngstown, with both Sharon Woodbury and Michael McGiffin, are behind the event. And so excited because we will be having the conversation about the City of You marketing campaign, recording podcasts. That's going to be very cool. Ohio Small Business Development Corporation, Youngstown Business Incubator, One Hot Cookie, and Youngstown Design Works help to create the website and all the logos that you're currently looking at. So again, these things don't happen without those people. And the other thing that don't happen without is a great committee. All these people, the people with the red noses on, excluding myself, are a great group of student interns. And anybody that's looking for recruitment of both interns and potential employees in the future, Youngstown State University is churning out some just unbelievable marketing talent from a communications, marketing, PR, branding, and design. My friend in the middle here, it's kind of funny. We met at a networking event, and we went out to lunch one day. Becky is a marketing executive with VEC. She's actually an attendee, and love the fact that I get an opportunity not only to meet with people that are attending the conference, but actually get together and go out to lunch and talk marketing. I'm a huge marketing nerd at heart, and I will sit and just talk for hours on end about just different strategies, things that are going on in the world, and appreciate that relationship. Again, this is the committee: Adam Earnhardt, Mike Ponticus, Anthony Marchionda, Joanna Schiraldi, RJ Thompson, Megan Factor, just do a tremendous job, and all of our breakout session leaders as well. They have all contributed to the content strategy. They have helped with the promotion of the event. In the bottom left-hand corner, my family. My family's had to deal with me talking about DOYO for 6 months now, day in, day out, and so I'm very grateful to have them backing me as well. I think all of us probably with kids or without kids have gone by the mall, and you go by Build-A-Bear, and I think that this is what inspired me to put this fuzzy creature on the screen. So we want to talk a little bit about workshops. DOYO Live will have 6 different workshops. Amanda Lynch from Busy Blogs Plus, who has been blogging for us for about the past 6 weeks and contributing even before that, will be on hand to help you with your blogging strategy. RJ Thompson, Mike Ponticus will be there to work with you on branding, ads, and web design. And then Palo Creative will also have their booth there and a presence to talk to you about some of that strategy as well. Jamie Jameson is a person that manages Instagram accounts. She has tens of thousands of followers on her Instagram account. I know that we're all curious as to how you get there, and she will help you. And Carmela Williams has a hair care product line as well, a tremendous following on Instagram. Both of them do marketing for their own business and other businesses. Caitlin Brown, the former student of mine, I teach part-time at Youngstown State University in the marketing department or communications. So Caitlin Brown will talk to you about the use of Snapchat. Snapchat's an interesting beast right now. It's having a tremendous run, over 100 million daily users, fastest growth of any social media platform since Facebook. And businesses today that are going in on Snapchat may not see the reach of results for a few years down the space. It really reminds me of where Facebook was early on, people posting stuff about them brushing their teeth, and the rest of us saying, we don't want to know about you brushing your teeth. But we've gotten to the point now where Facebook is so evolved that people are chronicling their life and journaling that, and it's this huge, obviously awesome opportunity to connect from a marketing perspective, no matter how many mathematicians know that the algorithm is not playing nicely with people. Snapchat, great opportunity to do that. Socialized Media Group will be running also a breakout session. I'm sorry, a workshop in addition to their breakout session on Facebook marketing. Again, lunch is being provided by Palo Creative, and you could follow them on Twitter and Instagram. And just big shout out to them again. Thank you very much to Rob and his crew for participating in DOYO Live and being the title agency sponsor behind the event, and really looking forward to their presence at the conference. Again, the official lunch spot. So initially we were going to do a food truck court. There were some variables that were coming into play with that. One of the challenges is that there is likely going to be some construction starting around Youngstown State University's campus, and it was becoming a logistical nightmare. So we've worked out an agreement with V2 or V squared or Vernon's, whatever you like to call it, as long as you're probably calling it something, just like if you're calling it DOYO or DOYO. V2 will be the official lunch spot of DOYO Live. We'll walk down from the Williamson College of Business. It's a short walk. Get you up off your feet, get you out into our downtown if you're not used to going down there for lunch. It's a great opportunity. Eddie and his crew at V2s are going to take good care of us for lunch. And lunch is included, by the way, in your as a part of your attendance. So everybody seems to have the biggest concern. It's funny. I lived in New York City for 5 years. Before I moved back to this area, or when I did, the first meeting I went to, the first thing that came up is parking. The very first DOYO Live planning conference that or planning meeting that I had, the first question that I had was parking. If I can, just for 1 second, if you could just all entertain me and put your hands up, how many people have a concern about parking in downtown Youngstown? And okay, good. I don't have many hands up. Very cool. Awesome. So I'm glad. Oh, I've got 2. All right. So here, let's relieve your parking woes. So first of all, the event is at Williamson College of Business. If you are an alum of Youngstown State University, welcome home. If you are going there for the first time, you are going to be amazed with this facility. I speak at a number of national conferences. I attend them regularly. I've been a marketing executive with GE Healthcare. I've been around the country for a lot of meetings in the past, and this is completely amazing. I love Williamson College of Business. The facility is just an awesome place. It is at 21 North Hazel Street in downtown Youngstown. There are 3 parking options available to you. The first is the M53 parking lot, which I know everybody in their mind right now knows where the M53 parking lot is, so I'm going to show you that on the map in a moment. That's on the corner of 5th and West Rain. It's 2.5 blocks away from the Williamson College of Business. There are meters that are outside around the facility that will be blocked off as a result of the City of Youngstown backing our event. So Michael McGiffin working with us to basically provide you with on-street parking as well. So that will take up about 125 to 150 parking spots. Handicap accessible is right outside of the Williamson College of Business, so anybody that needs handicap access, you'll have access to that. And then NYO Property Group is providing us with the standby lot, which is a little bit further of a hike, about 3 blocks away, but that's on the corner of Wick and Market Street in downtown Youngstown. So here's your map. Williamson College of Business is building number 64. Hopefully you can see my mouse or my arrow. And Williamson College of Business is right here. Apparently, Youngstown State on their maps likes to use punch bugs, which is pretty funny, or love bugs. Anyway, building number 64 is the Williamson College of Business. As you can see, down Phelps and on Wood Street will be parking. There is some parking as well on Hazel. You cannot park on West Rain, and so therefore you've got a couple block radius. If you get there early, you're liable to be able to grab a spot right outside the event on street parking. If not, the M53 lot is here on the corner of Rain and West 5th. Again, it's 2 blocks to the east to get to the Williamson College of Business. So it's a very quick, short walk, and that parking is being provided by DOYO Live. And then NYO Property Group's lot is in downtown, just down the hill on Wick in East Commerce. You would walk west on West Commerce, and in between, and right by One Hot Cookie, which this is the Erie Terminal building, you'll walk up the steps and you will be at the Williamson College of Business. So those are our parking options for you, all been allocated for the event. And then what to bring. Obviously, I'm sure that this isn't everybody's first rodeo, so encouraging you, obviously, to bring your smart device. We want you to interact and engage with the conference. Bring a charger. We were working on AT&T being a sponsor this year, but that came together a little bit too late, and they were going to try and provide charging stations. It's a nice what if, but we'll get them next year. In the meanwhile, just make sure that if you bring a charger, business cards, dress. I think that this is probably a very casual event, probably business casual to, I've heard, agency casual to, pretty much anything goes, but also keeping in mind that this could be your next business opportunity. There's going to be 200 people at the event to be able to network with. Could be the next job opportunity, could be the next business deal, and could just be the opportunity to get together for lunch on a monthly basis to talk shop about marketing. DOYO Live After Party is at NYO Property Group's M Gallery, and there will be light food fare provided by Friend Specialty and drinks, of course, after a long day for networking and have some fun, kick your heels up, another opportunity to engage with more constituents from the event. And we all want you to attend the after party as well. So this gets us to the end. And again, really appreciate the fact that you are here at our webinar today. And what I want to do is just take a moment and see if there's any questions that have been registered, because obviously we don't want to leave anybody hanging. If you do have a question, go ahead and register it into the chat. I will pick it up and answer it. Again, if you're here, you probably know about DOYOLive.com. That's our website. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe to our email list. There are 38 seats remaining for DOYO Live. We have managed to just about sell out the conference. I do know for a fact that there are 3 groups that are registering, so we will be very close to a capacity sellout. There are a number of students that are registering for the event that we are offering a student rate as well, because we do want, right now we've got about 10, 15 students that are registered. We want students to be able to attend to get access to network with you for future jobs and interns and that sort of thing. So, question that is coming in from Jim is, you mentioned HubSpot a couple of times. What exactly is HubSpot? So basically, HubSpot, and I'll shoot this out to you, was at the forefront of the digital marketing, online marketing movement, and they branded basically what's known as inbound marketing. Inbound marketing is fueled by compelling content, and content that is through a blog, through webinars, through podcasts, and through all these online mechanisms that help to create interest, the case studies, ebooks, white papers, how-to guides. And they really started here you get value with the asset being the content in exchange for your online currency, which is your email, phone, name, and business, obviously a part of that. They have a marketing technology stack that started with a content management system that has evolved into marketing automation, landing pages, forms, lead scoring, a whole library that consists of information that you can pull from and provide ongoing education. they've branched out now recently with their CRM solution, and they have a really cool thing called HubSpot Signals. If you don't have it, I'd highly recommend that you get it. It's a little application that's free for 200 emails a month. You put it on your Outlook or your Gmail, and it will tell you exactly when somebody on the other side has opened your email, and you don't need to send them a read receipt. You can even see how many times that email has actually been forwarded. So it's a pretty cool, pretty nifty technology. Their company just recently went public within the past 24 months. They have an annual conference called Inbound. I've attended that conference in the past. I've heard people like Seth Godin, Ariana Huffington speak at the event. One Republic played a concert. So it's a pretty cool thing. Very inspiring to me to go to something like that and, again, try and replicate that back here in Youngstown, Ohio. So that's HubSpot. We will have, again, 3 tracks that are dedicated towards that methodology and also the technology that's behind it. And in full transparency, I called HubSpot to see if they have any interest in being a part of the event. They were willing to send a speaker, which I thought this year it made sense to have people utilizing the technology, and then the next year likely have somebody from HubSpot presenting, and also talk to them further about a potential relationship as a sponsor. Next question I have is, good question. A little bit about my background. I'm sorry, I introduced myself. I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, graduated from Lowville High School. Started my first business at about 13 years old, went off to college in Canton, Ohio. From there, I went to Cleveland, to New York City, to Columbus, Ohio, and moved back to the area 3 years ago. I spent time as a marketing executive in small to mid-sized businesses for about 10 years. I was one of the first people really to take to online marketing back in around 2006 in healthcare. I was churning out content through YouTube, through Facebook. People thought I was absolutely insane at that point. What I didn't realize is that it got me on the radar for GE Healthcare. GE ended up hiring me to run a $1 billion healthcare IT portfolio from a marketing perspective. I had responsibility for all lead generation programs with GE Healthcare. A few years back, I launched a company called DOYO Marketing, where I have worked with some local clients such as the Business Journal Daily. I revamped their entire digital strategy for about 16 months. NYO Property Group has been a client of mine in the past where I provide consultation to them. Some of the YBI portfolio companies in the YBI itself. I have also worked with national companies such as Konica Minolta Medical Imaging, Stute Solutions, and some other technology companies that are out there today. But my primary focus moving forward is really going all in on DOYO Live, making this conference the best that I can, growing it, and then eventually utilizing the conference as a platform to get out and speak on a national level. So in any case, I really, really appreciate everybody participating in today's webinar. Tremendous, obviously, opportunity for all of us. As a result of participating in the webinar, I'm going to drop a promo code. I just sent it out. If you're planning on attending, and there are a couple different promo codes that are out there. If you're a member of the Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber, you do get a significant discount. If you're participating in the webinar today, you can just use the promo code DOYO. That will save you 20% on your registration. I am so very excited for this event. I have like 150 books right now sitting in my living room, and I have swag showing up daily. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you coming to today's webinar, and all of you that are registered for the event. If you're not, please subscribe to our online properties. We're going to be providing educational resources to you. And I wish all of you a wonderful, pleasant afternoon. And I will talk to you all in just about 2 weeks. Yes, Corinthian, if you could just if you could send me an email to I'll put this in here right now, and you send this Corinthian. Just send me a quick email reminding me of this, and I will take care of you. Okay. Again, thanks so much, everybody. Really appreciate it, and talk to you all in a couple weeks. Thank you.